So here's the other thing. We it's not like we haven't mentioned this individual's name on the podcast, but we haven't mentioned it in this discussion. So right now, if we're going to just purely look at the NL Cy Young, just NL, we haven't mentioned Chase Burns. We haven't mentioned Chris Sale, who goes today. They both have sub-2s. And in fairness, if we are going to include Shohei Ohtani in this conversation, then based on like innings and where the qualifiers are at, you would have to consider Kyle Harrison too. Like because Ohtani doesn't qualify right now with his 0.82 ERA is 55 innings. Kyle Harrison in his 51 2/3 innings has a 1.57. So yeah, like right now you're talking about a race of Ohtani, Sanchez, Harrison, Mizorowski, Sale, and Burns. All are sub-2. And Ohtani is sub-1. So good luck to the voters.
I do wonder on the Paul.
Oh, sorry, you
front.
had your finger up. Yes, please go ahead. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. Yeah.
I appreciate that, Jay. Hey, thank you. I do wonder on the Skeens front, though, when you're starting to talk about the votes he did get in that article that was put out. He's second in expected ERA right now, so it's not the batted ball data. He's fifth in FIP. And the thing that stands out to me, the whiff percentage has just dropped dramatically for him this year. 87th percentile last year. He's dropped down to the 47th. But still, to have those kind of peripherals still showing what he is, I assume Paul Skeens is going to get back to those whiffs at some point in time this year. I think that's why people are so confident, obviously the body of work as well the last couple of years, that he's going to kind of push himself back into that conversation. Because I think even with the Chase Burns, there's real workload conversations there. Chris Sale, the workload conversations exist. And those guys, in terms of peripheral standpoint, aren't as strong as even someone as Skeens in that category.
Well,
I'm looking at the odds on Kalshi. Where do you think Skeens is? Where do you think he ranks right now?
4?
Dallas?
Out of the conversation of the 5 that we've just had?
Just 2, NL Cy Young. Where's he at?
I would say he's probably sitting 3rd.
Jay?
I was going to say 3rd as well.
It is 3rd, but barely. Christopher Sanchez is now up to 38%. Jacob Mizorowski, 2nd at 22%. Paul Skeens, Kalshi users are forecasting his chance to win the award at 17%, but Shohei Ohtani is right up his keister at 16%. Chris Sale at 9%. Chase Burns at 5%. And those are the names that we've discussed. Is anyone left off that list from our grouping? Kyle Harrison. Kyle Harrison.
So here's what I've done. This is Kyle Harrison, Chris Sale, Paul Skeens, Chase Burns, Mizorowski, and Sanchez. I did not include Ohtani in this because there aren't enough slots to do so. Christopher Sanchez leads that group in WAR, leads that group in starts, leads that group in innings pitched. He is 2nd to Chase Burns in wins, tied with Paul Skeens Chase Burns
and Kyle Harrison.
Yes. And Chris Sale.
Sale and Burns have 7.
Yeah. He leads that group in ERA. He leads that group in ERA plus.
He leads that group in FIP as well.
The only thing that he doesn't, the strikeout and the strikeout percentage. He's got the 3rd highest strikeout percentage behind Mizorowski, meaning Mizorowski leads that race. Chris Sale and Kyle Harrison.
He leads that group in innings per start as well. He's averaging 6 2/3.
Yeah, he's that dude.
Yeah.
And he's keeping the walks down. Sub-2 right now?
5% walk rate, which is also the lowest amongst that group.
But that's for everything that Dallas just ran through. Like I used the word battle on Twitter. Jared, I think, just said race. Like that's why that people who want to be pedantic will note that it's not either of those things right now. It's over. If the season were ended today and the awards were handed out, it would be Christopher Sanchez's NL Cy Young, and I think he would be closer to unanimous as a winner than it would be some sort of split vote situation. Will it end that way? I don't know, but I think that would be the way that it went right now when we're having the conversation. And that speaks to just how fucking insane his season is, because we could have, 30-minute conversations about the seasons that Mizorowski, Ohtani, or a lot of these other guys are having. They're that good.
Yeah, just in terms of overall B-WAR, he's almost double Mizorowski at 4.2 to Miz's 2.4.
4.2? He's at 4.2 already on B-WAR?
4.2 B-WAR compared to
that in 12 starts? Think about that.
2.4.
Pretty good.
Think about that.
Had 8 last year.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think that was 32 starts. It's like, all right, like, are we talking like a 10 pace here? Essentially.
right.
Pretty good, yeah. I mean, again, like I don't subscribe to the idea of Ohtani fatigue. I subscribe to the idea of Ohtani numbness, where he goes out there, doesn't allow a hit, and then homers, and keeps his ERA on the season down below 1, and we're just like, yeah. Anyway, yeah. So, but Christopher Sanchez, you see that clip last night? You see that Ketel Marte home run? Soto hit another one. That's crazy, right? Just like we just can't. Like, I don't think that we have a gear shift in our brains to be able to process what like Ohtani does, because I mean, imagine it's like, all right, yeah, like Juan Soto hit another home run last night. That's 8 home runs in 12 games, and everyone's like, woo, 8 home runs in 12 games. All right, but what if he also threw fucking 15 shutout innings with 20 strikeouts over that same span? And it's like, well, that would be crazy. Like, well, that's insane. Like, we can't even like process that. Well, that's kind of what Ohtani does. So it's like, the Ohtani performance last night. It's like, yeah, we've seen it. Like, we've seen it. Yeah, of course. Like he hits home runs and he pitches at the same time. Like, yeah.
That's why it's MVP based. That's why, like, and that's where, again, just to remind folks, still the only dude who's got a market to win 2 awards at the same time.
Could you imagine if like Juan Soto was like, "Hey, Skip, like just let me see what I got tonight." Like we're down a start. Like, our starter got the flu before the game. We don't have anyone to go. Just let me see if I can just go out there and see what happens. All right, sure, Juan. See what you got. And he goes out there and fucking throws 8 shutout innings with 10 strikeouts. The reaction from the baseball world would be like, what? What the fuck?
He's in your favorite hitters, top 5 group of favorite hitters. He's in your favorite pitchers, top 5 favorite pitchers. Like, that's the same dude.
I'm just saying, I think we've gotten a little too comfy. I think we've gotten a little too comfy with what Shohei does, where it's like, yep, Shohei went last night. Yeah, hit a homer. What else went on? Garrett Cole pitched against the Royals. That went pretty good. Like it will not be lost on me how special, like, what it is we're seeing. And I also think that maybe in the back of people's minds, maybe not the best comparison, but kind of similar to like the 100-mile-an-hour fastball, where 15 years ago, if there was one guy that threw 100, everyone was like, "Woo, what a freak show. We have a guy that throws triple digits. I feel like I'm witnessing history. I may never see this again." And now everyone kind of does that. Or not everyone throws 100, but there are multiple guys that throw 100 and a lot of guys that throw upper 90s. So I don't know if there's an element of like, all right, we're seeing the first of his kind, but he's going to inspire a whole generation of Shohei Ohtanis. Like, we may think that this is special right now, but 15, 20 years from now, there might be fucking 30 guys that are great pitchers, or at least half decent pitchers that also can hit 20 home runs or something like that. But I think it would be very naive and short-sighted to operate that way. Like, yeah, we're seeing the first, but we're definitely not seeing the last. That might not be the case.
Just to put it in perspective, Ohtani cumulatively 4.1 WAR. That's as a complete baseball player. Christopher Sanchez 4.2. Christopher Sanchez did not throw 6 no-hit innings and hit a homer last night. He didn't do that.
That's why he's not going to win the fucking MVP.
All he does is get out. So.
But
Fair
Get
watching
off
him-
of his dick, dude. God damn.
One of the more enjoyable parts of last night was while he was grinding out there and didn't have his typical control, he was pissed. He was absolutely fuming despite not giving up a hit. And it's that kind of thirst for greatness that you see with some of these all-time athletes like a Michael Jordan or a Tom Brady, whoever you want to throw in those convos. He is out there right now with a sub-1 ERA, and he's fuming at the idea is that he's not as sharp as he usually is while going up against the worst offense in the entire sport. It still goes out there and it's just that one earned run. You are stacking history. You are the only player to start a game and hit a leadoff homer. He's now done it in back-to-back starts. He was the only guy and the first guy to do it last playoffs. In the energy, the fight, how badly he wants to achieve not only the Cy Young, but to be that guy out there on the field. He was almost disgusted with himself after the game. It's what makes him so much fun to watch and drool over regularly, because you see not only do the talents match up to everything you could dream of, so does the thing between the ears. He is on a quest for greatness, and we're just all along for the ride.
That's right. And on the ride we are.
Ride me.
Okay, pause.
Or ride him.
Would much rather ride him. No offense.
I've blown this guy's horn since he showed up.
It is time for everyone's favorite segment this week in Shohei Ohtani news. I love the game of baseball. My job is to talk about the game of baseball, and I talk about Shohei Ohtani a lot. It's what I do. And I still don't think I talk about him enough. You know, my goal is I never, ever want the baseball world to take for granted what we are seeing from Shohei Ohtani. This year, Shohei Ohtani has put together the fourth lowest ERA entering the month of June since earned runs became a stat in 1913. And on top of that, since 2021, Shohei Ohtani has the second highest OPS in all of Major League Baseball, behind a guy that is etching himself into the conversation for greatest right-handed hitter of all time. One of the greatest pitchers in baseball and a top 2 hitter in all the game of baseball for the last 5 years. That is Shohei Ohtani. And Shohei Ohtani has done it again this week, my friends. A leadoff homer once again in a start that he has on the mound. And that is when we do This Week in Shohei Ohtani News. Every week, no matter what, even if I'm on the road at my sister-in-law's wedding, we talk about what he did the day after he pitches. So he was on the mound, and he got another start at the plate as well. He was in the lineup while he was the starting pitcher as well. A leadoff homer once again. So back-to-back weeks, back-to-back starts where he leads off the game with a home run. He passes Jock Peterson for third most leadoff home runs in Dodgers history. He's just over 2 seasons into his career with the Los Angeles Dodgers, and he's third in Dodgers history in leadoff home runs. It is remarkable. And you want to talk history? Let's talk history. He becomes the only starting pitcher in Major League history with a leadoff home run in back-to-back games. That's history. He hit a leadoff home run, and he pitched 6 no-hit innings in the game as well, which we'll get to his pitching in a little while. Now, leadoff home run and pitched 6 innings of no-hit ball. No other player in modern baseball history has accomplished both of those things. Shohei Ohtani did it both in one game. It's remarkable what we are seeing. So, offensively, he started to pick it up. He was really good on the mound, even though he didn't have his best stuff. We're gonna talk about his pitching. It's a couple starts in a row where he clearly wasn't feeling great, yet his numbers are what they are on the year. And offensively, leading off the game with a home run. Obviously, we saw the stat last week where he became the first to hit a home run, a leadoff home run, and pitch in a game, just pitch in a game, since NLCS Game 4, which was him as well. So he did that, then he did last week, and then he did this week. Power starting to creep back offensively. Look, this is a down year for Shohei Ohtani offensively, right? That's what I keep hearing from everywhere, every direction. Down year for Shohei Ohtani. He hit in a down year for Shohei. He's hitting .269 with an .882 OPS, which is good for the 21st best in all of baseball. I think we can admit 21st best on offense isn't necessarily Shohei Ohtani at his best. It's not him at his best. But it's him at his worst, apparently, now offensively. A down year, he's 21st in all of baseball in OPS. He has 18th best WRC plus this year at 147. Meaning that in a down year, Shohei Ohtani is 47% better than your league average hitter. That is incredible. So he led off the game with a homer when he was also pitching on the mound for the second straight week, which is incredible. On the pitching side of things, look, the control has been a bit erratic for Shohei Ohtani lately. I wouldn't say he was good on the mound. This was a bad start as far as the standard Shohei Ohtani has set. And in a bad start, he threw 6 innings, gave up 0 hits, 1 run, walked a couple of guys, and that's how these runs came around. Shohei Ohtani pitched 6 innings and didn't give up a hit against the Colorado Rockies. And we're sitting here saying, and Shohei himself is sitting here saying, I have not been at my best. And we could hear it on the mound. If you didn't know if Shohei knew any cuss words in English, you found out this week. He was very unpleased with himself on multiple occasions in this start. But there was one pitch where it couldn't have been more clear. He let it go, let the pitch go, knew it was a ball immediately, and just dropped an extremely loud F-bomb, which if you're watching on YouTube, and I'll show it here now.
Arm's going to lag, and you're going to miss on arm side.
Oh, hot mic. 3-0.
That was a bad word in Japanese.
It's incredible. So, control's a bit erratic. 3 walks already after a leadoff walk in the 4th, and then he hits the very next batter in the 4th inning, so you get first and second. And you can tell he's going through it. He's going through it on the mound right now, and that is the inning he ended up giving up a run, didn't end up giving up a hit. The ball that was put in play that ended up scoring a run was a very weak contact ball to the right side. Luckily, the second baseman actually made a really good play here with Freddie Freeman not able to get to the ball, so he runs over. Alex Freeland runs over and has to make a sick play at first base. A run does end up scoring, but he gave up a run without giving up a single hit. Got through the whole start without giving up a single hit. Then he, to get out of that jam, took out his frustrations on Tovar. Just blows 3 fastballs right by him to get out of the inning. Ends up getting through 6. 6 innings pitched. 7 strikeouts, 0 hits. He walked 4 guys. He hit a batter, threw 99 pitches. So the end result is he got another win on the mound, and his ERA raised to 0.82 on the year. It's the lowest ERA in the first 9 starts of a season since these are the lowest. He's not the lowest. These are the lowest ERAs in the first 9 starts of a season since earned runs became official in 1913. Jacob deGrom in 2021, a .62. Juan Marichal in 1966, a .69. Dutch Leonard in 1914, a .76. And Shohei Ohtani in 2026 with a 0.82 ERA. Unbelievable. He just keeps making history. He's the first pitcher with a homer and no hits allowed in the first 6 innings of a game since Jake Arrieta did it in 2015. The last Dodger to do it, Don Drysdale, 1959. So this is, I don't even know how to quite explain it other than this is the greatest baseball player we're ever watching, but this is Shohei Ohtani when he's not exactly going well. He's been struggling a bit on offense. He's figuring that out a little bit. And these last couple of starts on the mound he's been struggling to find his command and a bit erratic, and he's been open about that. And yet here we are with the 21st highest ERA, the 21st highest OPS in the game of baseball, and the best ERA in the game of baseball. And that's Shohei Ohtani not at his best. Can you fathom that? It's absolutely crazy. So he spoke after the game, and I love listening and then being able to communicate with you guys what he said. After his start, he said, "I have to give credit to our defense. They really set the tone today. Command was off. My command was off. I felt like I was battling the lack of it and the frustration." So interesting there. Battling the lack of command, but also battling his frustration on the mound, which, as we heard a little bit earlier, he was dropping F-bombs out there. And then he spoke after his outing about 6 no-hit innings on the mound and then being pulled after the 6th after 99 pitches. And he said, I think I could have pitched deeper into the game if I gave up hits, Ohtani said. He just the walks lead to shorter outings. I would rather prefer to take the days when I get hit a little bit, but still be efficient rather than walking and not being able to pitch deeper into games. So from what I heard from the translation, and again, I always ask you guys to, if you saw the interview, to let me know exactly what was said, because I do understand the translation from Japanese to English, and then Will Ireton translating it live can get a little tricky. But basically what he's saying is he's pitching deep into counts and then he's walking those guys. Honestly, he would rather just give up a couple of hits instead of deeper into counts, and then he's able to get through innings quicker and pitch deeper into games. So he's not pleased with his lack of command and only going 6 innings. Again, we saw an F-bomb on the mound, a really loud one, which we heard, and then one at the plate as well. So he was all over the place. But what we are seeing right now, and I have this conversation all the time, the main thing I want to know, if you're watching This Week in Shohei Ohtani News for the first time, if you're watching it for the millionth time, because it has been a big part of this show and a big part of my media career since I began, because I knew that this man was special. And if you're watching, or listening, I just want everybody to know why this is what it is. And I mentioned it at the top, but it's true. I don't ever want to take for granted, nor do I want anybody that I can possibly reach to take for granted what we are seeing. It has never been done before. Never. He's the greatest player of all time. And I actually want to have a bigger I've started to do some research. I want to have a bigger conversation on this. Not in this show, but because I need to dive more deeper in. He's the only player to ever do what he's doing, and he's doing it at such an elite level that it's crazy. And I have been thrown. I started by saying I think this guy has the potential to be the best player we've ever seen, to this is the greatest athlete we have ever seen, to me now saying this is the greatest baseball player of all time. And a name that keeps popping up is Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth, two-way player, right? Babe Ruth was really only a full-time starting pitcher from 1915 to 1917. In that span, Babe Ruth had the 4th best ERA in Major League Baseball. He averaged about 4 strikeouts per game. He wasn't really hitting full-time during that span. 1918, his pitching started to ramp down, and then from there on for the rest of his career, his hitting started to ramp up. And by the next year, 1919, Babe Ruth was basically a full-time hitter. Did Babe Ruth do both? Well, yes. Did he do both at an elite level at the same time? Not really. There was never one single season where Babe Ruth qualified as both a hitter and a pitcher. Shohei Ohtani is the only player in history to ever accomplish that, and he did that in 2022. So I want to dive deeper into the GOAT conversation at some point. I say it all the time. I mean it, and I'm going to back it up. But what we are seeing, and the point I wanted to make is I never want people to take for granted what we are seeing. We are going to look back when we are 110 years old, because modern science is going to allow us to live longer, maybe 120, maybe 130, who knows. We're going to look back and say, I got to watch that guy play baseball in his prime. I got to watch him come through, come into baseball and finish his career. And we're going to look back on his career as the greatest of all time. There's no doubt in my mind, and I don't ever want people to take that for granted. And I'm certainly not going to do it, and it's why we do This Week in Shohei Ohtani News every single week here on Flippin' Bats, and it happens the day after he pitches. It comes out at 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific, and I believe that is 7 a.m. in Japan. I believe that's what it is. Another great week for Shohei Ohtani. A leadoff home run, back-to-back weeks with him on the mound with a leadoff home run. More history, elite history, 1 of 1. This isn't a once-in-a-generation player. This isn't the best player of his generation. This isn't a once-in-a-lifetime player. Shohei Ohtani is a once-in-a-sport player. It's never been done. I don't think it's ever going to be done again. Not at this level, at least. Not his best stuff on the mound. He's got to figure out his command. And yet his ERA is still 0.83, and those are by his words. He's frustrated with his pitching, yet it has still been really, really dominant. He's unhittable. He is unhittable. Not a single hit given up to the Colorado Rockies. 6 no-hit innings and a leadoff bomb on the mound. And that is This Week in Shohei Ohtani News. I appreciate you all. Please hit that subscribe button. It really does help. Leave a comment. I love hopping in the comments and talking to you guys and then continuing the conversation. I will respond. I always do. I love you guys. Flippin' Bats is the best baseball community. Monday, we talk everything there is to talk about around the game of baseball. The day after Shohei pitches is This Week in Shohei Ohtani News. And then every Saturday is Saturday with John Smoltz, where we talk every week with the Hall of Famer John Smoltz. And I hope you all stick around and check it out, because Flippin' Bats is the best baseball community there is. It's the most positive, fun, upbeat celebration of the game of baseball you can find. Love you guys. Until John Smoltz, Saturday with Smoltz, that is This Week in Shohei Ohtani News. Remember, until next time, my friends, find your bat and flip it. Peace.
The National League Cy Young race is going to be insane. As good as Shohei Ohtani has been, if he has one blip or misses some starts, it's going to change the complexion of the race. This is his key notch on his belt that he's looking to accomplish this year. 6 no-hit innings, homered in his first AB again, and was pissed at himself for how many walks he had. That is greatness.
It is, but I still don't think he's going to win the Cy Young. I think that there's too much competition in the National League this year. I don't think he's going to end up with enough innings. I mean, yes, it's amazing what Ohtani's doing, but did you see what Christopher Sanchez did in May? He didn't give up a run the whole month of May. Right, Chris Sale's right there. We know Skeens is going to figure it out at some point. There's a bunch of candidates this year in the National League. Is he going to win the MVP? Yes, he's going to win. Just go ahead and give it to him. I mean, he's not. There's no one that can beat him because he pitches and hits. And everyone just looks at WAR. Well, you can't replace, or no one's more valuable than a guy who pitches and hits. So just give him the MVP. His numbers are unbelievable, but I don't know that he gets over 150 innings, and that is a low threshold. Sanchez keeps doing what he's doing. For me, he's the favorite. Also, I picked him before the year, so I'm hoping he wins.
And the Miz is definitely hitting his stride here.
I didn't even mention the Miz or Kyle Harrison. You can throw both those guys in there.
Because strikeouts play. Strikeouts play. Kyle Harrison, that's awesome. Like, great. The Miz, I mean, he's 20 strikeouts ahead of the next person. Obviously, we're saying all of this for all these guys continues. It will be the most fascinating race possible. Like, people will stop even looking to see who's going to win the American League because that league stinks. So you're going to want to see the National League Cy Young race. And I agree with AJ. I don't think Ohtani's got enough pitching-wise to do it. Maybe in another year he could. But again, how are you going to look away from a .9 ERA if that's what he finishes at? Well, easy. Miz might have 270 strikeouts. Christopher Sanchez, if we're going off the same apples to apples, isn't going to give a run up the rest of the year. I mean, I guess it goes to Christopher Sanchez then, but it is going to be amazing. It's awesome to see what he did. He went 6 no-hit. He out-hit the Rockies on his own through 99 pitches. By himself, he out-hit the Rockies.
That's right. Well, from his first AB, he out-hit the Rockies. Keep this up for a moment, too, or let's go back to it. I just want to read it for everyone that's listening later on. So BetMGM futures, these are the live odds for Cy Young. You can bet right now, and this is how they have it. Christopher Sanchez plus 150. then The Miz at plus 280, Skeens plus 500, Ohtani plus 550, and then Chris Sale over at plus 800. We spoke a lot, yesterday about what Kyle Harrison's doing. Chase Burns has been insane too. And we could show that tweet. Who's it? Nugget Chef on Twitter. He said, could be the greatest battle for NL Pitcher of the Month in the history of the order. He said it is. I don't know. We're not really following the Pitcher of the Month that closely, but it just shows how ridiculous pitchers in the National League have been. So he's got Sanchez on there, who has no runs in 39 innings. The streak's obviously longer because it started before this month. Miz at 0.29, 49 strikeouts and 31 and a third. Ohtani's ERA in May is 0.95. Kyle Harrison 0.96. Chase Burns 1.19. And for Cy Young purposes, I just don't know if he's going to give enough innings to the Reds. He's young. They're going to keep track of that. And then Wheeler this month is at 1.38. AJ, the National League starting pitching is next level right now. And it's not just the talent, it's that they're actually performing, right? Like you mentioned Skeens, who, has had a couple, for Skeens purposes, bad starts, and then he falls way behind the ERA race just because of that.
Yeah, the National League is just better than the American League. I don't know what else we can say. We keep saying this over and over again. But the award's going to go to Christopher Sanchez. You go a whole month and not give up a run, guess what? You're going to win Pitcher of the Month. I don't, record or schmecker, wins don't matter anymore, remember? So he went the whole month and didn't give up a run. I mean, those other numbers are great, 4-0 with a this and that record, and Ohtani with a .95. But if Christopher Sanchez doesn't win the Pitcher of the Month in the NL, then I don't know what the heck they're voting for.
I mean, if we bring that graphic up one last time of the top 5 BetMGM odds there, what's the one thing that all of them have in common? They're all playoff pitchers. They're all teams that are in the playoffs, and this might be what ends up winning it. Usually you talk about MVP, but the Cy Young Award is possibly the guy that is on the starting pitcher for teams that are pushing and ultimately make the playoffs or even have the best record in the National League.
So let me get this part straight. You think voters are going to look at team performance for the Cy Young Award?
No.
Okay.
I'm saying you pitched down the stretch big innings for your team. You're not just pitching, oh, great, Paul Skeens is out of it, but he's got a 1.98. I think if the Pirates aren't in it and Paul Skeens has the similar numbers, I think it's going to go to a guy like Christopher Sanchez, who the Phillies are going to have to push to get into the playoffs. I think it's going to have to go to a guy whose team is making that push for the playoffs.
I wasn't trying to belittle the point. I actually agree with parts of this. If you are a pitcher on a dead team in the second half or even for the last couple months, AJ, are you pitching the same high stress as a pitcher who is a fringe wild card contender team trying to get their push and feel like almost every game's the postseason while someone else is pitching in an empty ballpark? I know it's not easy for adrenaline purposes, but you are pitching in more meaningful baseball games, and we don't necessarily have the numbers to show that.
I mean, voters have proven over the years that it doesn't matter how your team is doing for MVP and for Cy Young and things like that. So I wish it was more like that, but sadly, I don't think it's going to matter. They always just go off who the best numbers are, and there's no at the end of the day, whoever has the best numbers is going to win. The voters have proven MVP when guys are finishing in last place, winning the MVP. When guys with similar or a little bit less numbers are in pennant races and they don't win, it's just proven over and over again. So I think it's going to come down to whoever has the best numbers at the end of the year and who people think is the best pitcher. I don't think it has anything to do with if you're in the playoffs or not. As sad as that is, and as much as it pains me to say that.
We haven't really talked about that topic much, AJ, that we've just kind of gotten rid of the part of the games mattering for individual awards. I feel like it almost got dispelled where it's, oh, you're an old school thinker if you're not just looking at the hard numbers for the player. You don't know and understand all the other factors. But I'm like, really? If you're a fan or you're working in the game, you know that you watch a certain player playing games in September versus someone else who's playing garbage time, and it's different. Is every home run and RBI and everything else the same. No, some players are more clutch than others, right? Some guys have been really good at gobbling up great stats because they're good at hitting bad pitching, and then they pop up in the postseason and they're not as good. So I'm with you here. Should it be the deciding factor always? No, but should it be 1 ounce in the recipe? Yeah.
You're comparing apples to apples. You're not comparing take the National League Rookie of the Year or American League Rookie of the Year right now. If the Tigers continue to slide and the White Sox continue to be a team that's right there in the lead for a wild card spot right now, Munetaka Murakami's at bats matter more. And so if you're saying, okay, both their values are the same, they're very close, how are we going to differentiate it? Well, his defense and his home runs and his Murakami's hitting big home runs in big spots. If you're voting, you're not voting on a computer. You're not saying computer, you choose it based on the numbers. You're doing it based on, or it becomes just a war stat. You're doing it based on what you're seeing in that season.
It's getting hot out there, people. Let's talk Mack Weldon. Fashion show real quick. AJ's got the Pima crew neck t-shirt. Froth heather is the color.
Froth heather. It's got little pieces of gray heather in there. It's nice. It's soft. It fits really well. It's great for summer down here in Florida. And I got a couple linen shirts and linen pants that are going to look nice when I go to Europe here in a couple weeks.
Ooh, very nice. Yeah, it's very smooth, very thin. I'm wearing the 18-hour jersey short and heather gray. I'll leave that down here for you. And the Pima short sleeve Henley. The color on mine is Desert Spring. But it really resonates. It fits and kind of matches with everything in the wardrobe too. It's the classic look. They know what they're doing here. So check it out. We've got the code for you too. Get moving with Mack Weldon. Comfortable anywhere. Go to MackWeldon.com. Get 20% off your first order of $125 or more with promo code FOUL. That's MackWeldon.com. Code FOUL.
Yeah, I understand all those arguments, but at the end of the day, they don't care about where your team is. They haven't. They've proven that over year after year after year now that they don't care where your team finishes. And I agree. Not all homers, not all wins, not all pitches are thrown the same when you're in the middle of a pennant race. They're much more pressure, much more adrenaline packed, all that stuff. But voters have proven over and over again it doesn't matter.
What are examples?
Mike Trout winning MVP, finishing last every year. Shohei winning the MVP when they finished last. There's A-Rod winning it the 1 year in Texas when they finished last. There's Felix Hernandez winning it with a 12-12 record in a team that didn't come close to making the playoffs.
But were they comparable?
I can go on and on.
But like some of those Trout years, the Shohei year, like who was really that close? Like if you're talking about like the Albert Pujols, Ryan Howard time period where it was like the Cardinals were always in, Howard and Pujols are close, who should win it, that kind of thing. But I'm not even talking about Ohtani years. Ohtani years, whatever. He could play on a minor league team and still win MVP of Major League Baseball. But when it's close, apples to apples, when has that happened?
I don't have all the numbers in front of me.
Right
so,
now.
I mean, you win, Kratz. What do you want me to say? I don't know. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I'm sorry. I don't know.
No, I'm more saying like,
I mean, cool.
Yeah. Should the voters, because ultimately if we keep leaking towards that, then it ultimately just becomes a war stat. And whether you're a writer for the F war or the B war, and I get like
that.
Back in, and I guess that's what it's become. I know back in the day when I look at like old time stats, like 60s and 70s, and you go back through and you're like, whoa, that dude had twice the war of what this player or this pitcher had. How did he not win the MVP? He clearly had a better season. So maybe they were too far on that end of the spectrum.
They were. You get this is.
I mean,
the world, right?
Use 2023. 2023, Shohei won it. 30 first place votes. You know who he had a WAR of 9.9 because he was doing his thing in Anaheim, right? They didn't win. They weren't close to winning. Corey Seager got 0 first place votes. His OPS was Shohei's was 1,066. Corey Seager's was 1,013. The Rangers went to the World Series and won in 2023. He didn't get no votes. There's your example. That was pretty close. Sorry, pretty close.
No.
Yeah, but he pitched too.
What do you mean no?
Ohtani
50
pitched.
points OPS. 50,
No,
both over
he
1,000
pitched.
OPS.
But he
pitched
pitched too. He got hurt at the end of August. That's not. That's not. I don't,
you asked when it was close. There's when it was close. 20,
Yeah.
and he was on a last place team. Or
Hitting
I don't know if he was
wise,
on
yes,
last
I
place,
get
but it was
that.
close enough.
they were definitely last. If not, yeah.
My thing is, yes, if there's two guys that are very similar and you're voting, it should be a part of the vote. And just because back in the day, they basically penalized players that weren't on winning teams so much that they didn't vote for them, doesn't mean that we just quash it completely and go the other extreme. One more thing on...
We can go to 2021 too. Vladimir Guerrero. I know Shohei pitched. Vladimir Guerrero had a higher OPS than him that year by almost 50 points. Didn't win. Didn't get one first place vote. Again, I know Shohei pitched, but the Angels weren't good in 2021 either. I mean, we can find all kinds of examples. It doesn't matter. It's a WAR stat now. Is Shohei more valuable because he does hitting and pitching than Vladimir Guerrero? Okay, well then he'll never lose the award. You should just give it to him every year as long as he pitches and hits.
Oh, I agree. We say that every day. I agree. I completely agree with that.
But you can make a million arguments on who's more valuable, this guy or that guy, to their team. And if it's truly the most valuable player, then it shouldn't just go strictly off some made-up formula that people can't even agree on the formula on.
It's so...
Yeah, well, here, for me, I agree with you, AJ. I just don't think Ohtani's the answer. I agree with you. I think he's a unicorn case. I'm saying you take other guys, like use Trout. That's a good example, right? Trout, he's the nicest guy, but he is playing garbage games every year that he's healthy, right? And then we're talking about the prime year, so he was healthy. But the team was out of it most of the time, well before the end of the season. So do you value those ABs the same as somebody you're comparing him to? And again, Trout's not even the best comparison some of those years because the numbers, not just WAR, were above and beyond many others, right? But I'm trying to prove the point that if you had two players matched up and one player is on a totally busted team, you can use it as an ingredient. I think you should use it as an ingredient. Most now don't think you should use it. Most voters, for sure.
2017, Stanton won the MVP, right? For the Marlins, they finished under 500. Joey Votto had a higher OPS than him that year. Same WAR. They both were on crappy teams. Stanton won it pretty much almost unanimously.
Who was there anyone else in the running that year that was close?
Goldschmidt was the other one.
Okay.
And Goldschmidt was on obviously Arizona, and Arizona finished in second place, 93 wins, and he finished in third place in the MVP voting. Now, granted, Goldschmidt's numbers were, he was 40 points behind Stanton in the MVP that year. But Stanton hit 59. Goldschmidt hit 36. So who was more valuable? I mean, the Marlins that year won 77 games.
I think this Cy Young will be a very intriguing. Who do we think is actually going to be the three? Because obviously we can choose. I think everybody could be right if you choose who you think is going to win. Who do we think is going to be the top three at the end of the year? To me, I think somehow, some way, Zach Wheeler gets in there. I have no idea how, but Zach Wheeler's like an afterthought so far this year. I think it's Christopher Sanchez, and I think The Miz are my top three at the end of the year.
Why not Ohtani?
I don't think he's going to get in that top three discussion.
Okay.
And that's okay. He still might be top five. For some reason, obviously I can kick Zach Wheeler out. I can say I can kick Zach Wheeler out, but I think if I kick Zach Wheeler out, I might put Chris Sale in because anybody that's watched Chris Sale's outings right now, I just feel like, and everything is barring injuries. I'm making the decision saying each one of these guys is not getting hurt. That's not what's getting these guys out of here. I just feel like there's like that. Chris Sale has that look when he's throwing right now that he turns it up in big spots. He turns it up when it's needed, and he's going to get the innings, and he's going to slide into that top three area if I were to choose. So I would say Ohtani's top five right now.
Okay. To me, I mean, stuff-wise, Ohtani's got it going on right now. It's just right. If they're limiting starts, innings, if he does have to take a break at some point, he's going to push not to, but you just don't know, right? And the Dodgers are the team that's going to hit the brakes if need be. One quick note on Sanchez. So remember, AJ, he got paid in the offseason. They kind of ripped up his deal, which is pretty unconventional because they could have just rolled out with really good discount and surplus value for a while. They decided to pay him. Then in his first 2 starts, 12 innings, 8 earned runs. People are like, whoa, what the heck? I'm sure someone on the radio called in out in Philly. Why'd we pay this guy? We already had him, and now he gave up 8 runs in his first 2 starts. Look at the game log the rest of the way. Whew. It's impressive. That's how quickly the narrative can change. You're like, Sanchez, is he okay?
I mean, I did a radio interview in Atlanta. They're talking about Kim, shortstop. He's 4 for 42 since coming off the IL. They're like, is it time to get rid of him and put Dubon on at shortstop? I'm like, no, calm down. I said, if he was doing his normal thing and he goes 4 for 42 in August, would you guys be worried? They say, no, it's a slump. I'm like, exactly, calm down. Guys have bad starts. Paul Skeens had a bad start. Remember his first start? Everyone's like, oh, no, what's wrong? He's fine. People have bad outings. It happens.
Yeah, and also, I know we didn't talk a ton about him in this segment, but Skeens could easily be in that top 3 by the end of the year. Skeens could go 0 for June in a good way, right? Nobody scores a run off him in June.
He has like a 0.5 ERA in night games and like a 6 ERA in his like 2 bad day game starts. So, yeah, Paul Skeens could easily be up there also. Like, I made myself choose a top 3. So that's why I got those.